If you've ever pulled a plant from its pot and expected the roots to plunge straight down once it hit the soil, you're not alone. Most of us were taught, or at least assumed, that roots behave like inverted trees, a single dominant structure diving deep into the earth, anchoring the plant in a dramatic vertical column. It's a compelling image. It's also mostly wrong. For the majority of plants in your garden, vegetables, shrubs, perennials, and even many trees, the first major expansion of the root isn't downward, it's outward. And understanding why changes how you dig, how you water, and how you think about the soil and your plants themselves. This is Master Gardener Steve from the Celtic Farm, and this is all about roots. Roots aren't chasing depth, they're chasing life. And life in soil is concentrated near the surface. Every root cell is alive. It respires. It consumes oxygen to convert sugars, produce the leaves above into usable energy. Without oxygen, root tissue begins to fail. That detail alone reshapes the picture, because oxygen in soil isn't evenly distributed. It's highest in the upper layers, typically the top 12 to 18 inches, where organic matter accumulates, where earthworms create channels, where microbial communities thrive, and where soil structure remains loose enough to allow air exchange. As you move deeper, soil becomes denser. Air movement slows. Oxygen levels decline. Biological activity decreases. In some cases, anaerobic conditions develop. So a newly planted shrub doesn't send roots down first because it can't afford to. It spreads laterally into the oxygen-rich horizon. That upper layer is the biological engine of your garden. It's not just dirt, it's infrastructure. Water reinforces this behavior. Rain and irrigation enter from above. In healthy soil, organic matter acts like a sponge, holding moisture near the surface long enough for fine feeder roots to intercept it. Those feeder roots, the tiny hair-like structures responsible for most nutrient absorption, are concentrated in this upper zone. Only after a plant establishes lateral stability does it invest energy into deeper structural roots, which provide drought resilience and anchorage over time. But the first move is always sideways. Width precedes depth, and this is where modern watering habits often interfere. Frequent shallow irrigation keeps moisture suspended at the surface. Roots respond by remaining in that shallow layer because that's where the consistent resource exists. Miss a day during a heat wave and the plant struggles, not because it's weak, but because we trained it to depend on the surface. Water deeply, allow slight drying between soakings, encourage exploration. Root architecture reflects watering patterns. We often hear about geotropism, the influence of gravity on root direction. And gravity does matter, but roots respond more strongly to environmental gradients. Moisture gradients, nutrient gradients, oxygen gradients, and perhaps most importantly, fungal networks. Mycorrhizal fungi thrive in biologically active soil. Roots from symbiotic partnerships with these fungi dramatically extend their effective reach. Roots do not chase depth for its own sake, they chase opportunity. Where biology is active, roots will follow. Now here's the part that surprises even experienced gardeners. Over time, a mature tree's root system can extend 1.5 times the width of its canopy. If a tree's canopy expands 20 feet, its roots may stretch 30 feet or more. And the vast majority of those absorbing roots remain within the top 2 feet of the soil. Depth provides anchoring strength, but width provides stability. And width develops first. This is why construction damage outside the visible drip line can still compromise a tree. Roots live far beyond what we see above ground. The drip line is not the boundary of life, it's just a visual reference. Once you understand that roots expand laterally first, the classic Master Gardener rule makes complete sense. When you plant something, dig 2 to 3 times wider than the root ball, but no deeper. A deep, shallow hole forces roots against compacted sidewalls, encouraging circling and confinement. A wide, shallow hole creates a runway. It invites the roots to do what they're biologically programmed to do, spread into oxygen, into moisture, and into that microbial partnership. Before planting, Rough up the sides of the hole. Smooth glazed soil surfaces can redirect roots inward rather than outward. Think in terms of horizontal expansion. You're not drilling a well, you're opening a door. If most roots live in the upper horizon, that's where your efforts should focus. Build organic matter consistently to maintain friable, breathable soil. Mulch to regulate temperature and protect feeder roots. Avoid compaction. Every footstep collapses air pockets roots depend on. Compaction often harms plants faster than nutrient deficiency. Aeration precedes fertility. Life precedes growth. Roots do not grow sideways first because they lack ambition. They grow sideways first because that's where survival lives. Oxygen, moisture, and biology. When we understand that, we stop planting like we're drilling deep into the unknown. We begin planting like we're building an ecosystem from the surface down. Strong gardens don't begin above the ground. They begin in the oxygen zone. And when soil breathes, so do your plants.